Hello, you can't see me, can you? Let me turn it around. Hi, it's Mr. Messerly with my wicked cool mask. I hope you love my mask, because I do. So, I was sitting on my couch listening to the birds sing, because they sound amazing, don't they? And then I heard music that wasn't the birds. So I put on my mask and I went out to investigate. Let's see what's making this sound. Oh my gosh! It's a friend!
Hi, Mr. Messerly.
Hi, Miss Hannah, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing so good. Oh my gosh, your music is so beautiful.
Thank you.
I was just saying that I've been really enjoying all the bird songs.
Yes.
And it's the time of year when they really sing a lot. And suddenly I heard this other music that was just as beautiful as the birds. And so, what instrument are you playing?
I'm playing the cello.
The cello. Okay,
Yes.
so of the instruments in the string family, where do you find the cello? Is it the highest, the lowest, somewhere in between?
That's a great question. We're on the lower end of the string family. So the bass, of course, big string bass, it typically is played standing up or sitting on a stool. That is the lowest of the strings, and the cello comes just before that. So it's between the viola and the bass.
So it's a little higher in pitch.
A little higher in pitch than the bass.
Okay, and is it bigger or smaller than the bass?
It is smaller.
Okay, but it's bigger than the...
Bigger than the viola.
Bigger than the viola. Now, the violin and viola you play by putting up under your neck.
Yes.
Does anybody play the cello holding it up in the air?
No, we don't have arms long enough to do it.
Oh, that's the
So we
reason.
have to play them on the floor. And so the cello and the bass are the ones that are played, on the floor, and the violin and viola are played up on one's shoulder.
Cool. Now, do they all have the same number of strings?
They do, yes. The violin, viola, cello, and bass all have the same number of strings. Sometimes there are some pesky electric basses that have a few extra strings.
No.
But in general, we just have 4.
No, I don't believe in more than 4 strings for the bass, so we can discuss that some other time. Another time. Okay, now, could you just do me a huge favor and point out the different parts of the cello?
I would love to. So in general, there are 2 parts to the cello. Of course, the actual cello and the bow.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So I'll start with the actual instrument. From the top, this curly thing up here is called a scroll. It kind of looks like a scroll too.
See if I can zoom in on that. Oh, I can. Okay, yes, there's the scroll.
The scroll down just a little bit are the pegs. These are the way that we tune the instrument in large tuning. So we have a large tuning option. We also have a smaller tuning option, and I'll get there. The pegs live in this area. It's called the peg box. And the strings are wound all the way up to the pegs and then wound into the pegs, which is how we tune. Next we have, I guess, the strings. We go all the way up from the peg box all the way down here to the tail piece of the instrument. This thing is called the tail piece, and that takes us to our smaller tuning, which are these. These are our fine tuners. So these do small tuning, and our pegs do big tuning up here. And then underneath the strings, this long black piece of wood is called the fingerboard. And of course, that's where we put our fingers.
Okay, why is the fingerboard a different color of wood than the rest of the instrument?
I think that it just became typical practice in the time. I have seen some that have the same varnish as the rest of the instrument, but I think it's kind of more aesthetic than anything else.
It's not a different kind of wood?
I'm not sure about
Ooh, we should look that up. Why
We need
doesn't
to
somebody
research it.
look that up for us
Someone tell us.
and email us back so we can all know? That's great.
Please.
I love asking questions. Now, I see those really fancy looking holes on there.
These are called the F holes.
Okay.
I think a lot of students think they look like S's more than they look like F's. But yes, these are the F holes, and sound comes out of the instrument through these holes.
Cool.
And then right in between the F holes, we have our bridge. And our bridge is really an amazing part of the instrument. It's not glued on the instrument. It's not glued to the strings. It's held all by suspension. So the force of the strings being tightened hold the bridge into place on the instrument. So it's really, really And it's one reason that we have to be very gentle with stringed instruments. They're very fragile because they're all basically working on a suspension on the bridge.
So someone once told me that what makes the sound on a stringed instrument is the vibration of the string.
Yes.
And that it's the bridge that takes the vibration of the string and sends it to the rest of the instrument. Does that sound right?
Yes. And so just under the bridge, if we had a tiny little camera and we could put it into the F-hole, we would see another piece of wood suspended from the back of the cello to the front.
Wow.
Also not glued, again, it's just suspended there, and that's called the sound post. And so the sound post also takes that sound from the bridge, from the top of the instrument, takes those vibrations and kind of swirls them around through the instrument and emits them out of the F-holes.
That is absolutely amazing.
It's very amazing.
What happens if your sound post falls down?
Oh no, that is not good. Our the sound really changes. We can't really operate the instrument without it. And so that's one thing. If all of our strings were to loosen at the same time, our bridge of course would fall, and then our sound post would too. So luckily we have some great luthiers in town that can bring all of those back up and suspend them again.
All right, so let's see. Are there any? I think we covered all the pieces.
Oh, one very important piece.
Yes.
The end pen.
End pin, you said?
End pin.
Okay.
Yes. It's very important because, and very special because violins and violas don't have them. And this is what helps us just keep our instrument up on the ground. Early cellists used to hold the cello between their legs, and you would imagine that's a great calf workout. We no longer have to do that when we play the cello.
Now, the bow, is it the same or is it different in some way from the violin and viola bows?
It's a little bit different. It's a bit larger, so just the circumference of the wood of the stick is a bit larger. Of course, the frog is a bit larger. Like all of its parts are a bit larger because of that. It also is a bit shorter, so violin bows are longer. I'm not quite sure why that is. I think that maybe they have a larger grade of motion up on their shoulders. But yeah, we're just a little bit shorter, a little bit larger. You may already know this, but of course the hair is horsehair.
Yeah.
So we shouldn't touch it. We should try to refrain from touching it. You can see down at the bottom, my fingers touch just a little bit, and that's common practice in cello playing, but it does result in some discoloration of the hair. And then the stick is made out of Pernambuco wood.
Whoa.
I do know that.
Could you say that word again?
Yes, Pernambuco.
Whoa.
And it's very special wood from Brazil. And they've found that it's the best wood to make a bow out of. So it's very, very special.
That is absolutely amazing. Now, the last question that I've always wondered was, so you have a violin, which plays the highest notes, the viola plays the slightly lower notes, the cello, and then the bass plays the lowest. But the notes that you play on the cello, do they have any notes that are the same as any of the other instruments? In other words, like, do the high notes on a cello cross over with the notes on a viola, or the low notes on the cello cross over with the high notes on the bass? Does that make sense?
Question.
Okay,
yes,
thanks.
Great question. So yeah, I mean, we do fall right in between the viola and the bass. So the viola has the same strings as the cello. It's A, the highest string is A, and then D, G, and C. So it's the same on the cello as the viola, but the viola is a whole octave above the cello.
Oh, okay.
So the cello's A string sounds like this, and the viola's A string sounds like this.
Oh, wow. So that's
Higher up.
Yeah, but they do have some of the same notes.
Yes.
Boy, that was a beautiful sound. Can you just show us the low notes that are shared with the bass?
Yes. So our lowest note, of course, is the C. And basses go, if I'm not mistaken, I believe they can play about an octave lower than the cello still. So we kind of lie in between the two of those instruments.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. And we can do a lot of things though. The cello, my favorite thing about the cello is that its range is the closest instrument that shares the range of the human voice, if that makes sense. range to that of the human voice, and so we can really replicate the singing voice when we play our cellos, which is beautiful.
That is amazing. I was wondering if you would be so kind, could you maybe play a song for us?
Yes, I would
Whether
love
it's
to.
whether it's one that sounds like the human voice or whether it's just your favorite piece of music, I would love to hear you play.
Oh, I'd love to. I was thinking I might play for you something that is a little familiar to you all. Let me
Yeah.
know if you know this one.
Okay.
Do you all know that song?
I've heard it, but I don't know what it's called. I was gonna have the kids guess it, but tell you what, why don't you just tell us what it is?
Okay, maybe we'll give you a few seconds to guess.
Yeah.
Think about what you think it may be. It is the Prelude in G major by Johann Sebastian Bach.
Oh, Bach is one of my favorites. So, do you ever teach kids how to play cello?
I do. I do teach kids to play the
Is
cello.
there a way that if a kid saw this and they wanted to take a lesson from you, like while we're all at home, maybe over the computer or something, is there a way they could get a hold of you?
Yeah, absolutely. I can send you my contact information,
Okay.
and then you all can get in touch with me. We do the Suzuki String Department. We do teach at Hyde Park Elementary typically.
Oh my gosh,
so-
that's true. I've seen you teaching
Yes.
all kinds of our Hyde Park students.
Yes, so we do have a lot of great teachers over there. But yes, in this time, I'm currently working and teaching from home, and I've got a lot of students that I meet with on Saturday morning. So I'd love to tell some of your students more about the cello if they're interested.
Oh, that's so nice. Oh, Miss Hannah, I cannot thank you enough. You just made my day with your beautiful music.
Well, thanks for coming. What a surprise.
It was, and I was wondering, could you play a little something else while I start walking back home?
Oh yeah, I'd love to. I'll play you out.
Thank you. Oh, take care of yourself and thank you.
Bye, thank you.
Thanks, everyone. I love you guys. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.